This is a road. In fact, it's one of the best roads ever built. So good that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers used it as a model for modern roads. And this is why. In 140 AD, the Roman Emperor Hadrian set out to survey his far-flung empire. He traveled east from Rome, stopping at every city to check its defenses and generally see how things were going. But when he reached the city of Nicaea in what is today Turkey, he was greeted by an unexpected sight. The locals had never even heard of Rome. Hadrian wasn't too happy about this, so he did what any reasonable emperor would do. He decided to build them a road. Hadrian commissioned the building of Via Egnatia, a new highway connecting Rome to the eastern provinces. It was built to be the straightest, smoothest, sturdiest road possible. To make sure the work was done right, he put one of his most trusted generals, Titus Flavius Ignatius, in charge. Flavius would go on to complete the road and make sure every mile of it was perfect. By the time it was finished, the road was 819 miles long. But the crazy part of this story isn't the length or the engineering or even Hadrian's ego. It's that there was already a road there. In fact, there were several roads leading to Nicaea. Hadrian simply chose the best one and improved it, which is kind of the whole point of this video. Roman roads weren't just a way to move troops or goods, they were a way to move people, ideas, and culture. Let me show you. The year is 100 AD. You are a Roman legionary marching on campaign. You've been ordered to report to your unit's base camp early in the morning, so you get up before sunrise and start walking. You have 6 miles to cover before you reach the camp. As you walk, you notice 2 things. First, the road beneath your feet has been perfectly smoothed so that it's easy to traverse. Second, despite the early hour, you're not alone. A merchant making his way to the next town passes by pushing a cart laden with amphoras of olive oil. 2 government officials ride by on horseback, taking turns running ahead and then switching mounts. And a young mother carrying a basket of figs walks with her husband and 2 children. In other words, this Roman road, like all Roman roads, belongs to everyone. For the legions, speed and efficiency were paramount. Thousands of soldiers could march in formation down the road, passing villages and towns without disrupting their ranks. Supply wagons rumbled along the stone surface, keeping provisions and equipment moving across the empire. For merchants and traders, the roads provided a safe and reliable way to get their goods to market. Caravans of carts carried goods to and fro, passing roadside mansions where they might stop to rest and refresh themselves and their animals. For government messengers, the roads were a literal lifeline. Using a network of mutations, or relay stations, a rider could deliver official documents or messages from one end of the empire to the other in record time. This was the cursus publicus, the imperial postal system. And for civilians like you and your family, the roads were open for personal travel, relocation, pilgrimage, or visiting family. You might walk with your donkey, ride in a horse-drawn carriage, or hitch a ride on the back of a supply wagon. Along the way, you'd pass milestones that told you how many miles you'd traveled and sometimes even had Latin inscriptions to commemorate the road's construction. The Romans built more than 40,000 miles of roads and maintained them for hundreds of years. That meant that workers had to be constantly repairing damaged sections. So if you were a builder or part of a maintenance crew, the roads provided you with a job. It's hard to overstate just how important roads were to the Romans. Not only were they a practical necessity, they were a powerful symbol of Roman authority. Hadrian's road to Nicaea connected the provincial capital to the rest of the empire and facilitated the exchange of ideas, goods, and culture between Rome and its far-flung provinces. In fact, roads like Via Egnatia helped spread the Latin language and Roman customs as far away as Britain and Dacia. So the next time you're on a road trip, take a moment to appreciate the Romans. They invented road trips. What's your favorite thing about Roman history? Let us know in the comments. The year is 117 AD. The place, a quiet Roman road winding through the green Italian countryside. Early in the morning, mist still clings to the ground and the air is still, save for the distant sound of a stream tumbling over nearby stones. But as the sun rises higher and the mist evaporates, life begins to stir along the road. Faint hoofbeats and footsteps can be heard growing louder. Up ahead, we see the weathered remains of a milestone telling Roman units and travelers alike that they are 7 miles from the city of Brundisium. Then from the trees on the side of the road, a small unit of Roman auxiliary soldiers steps into view. Walking in close formation, these tough foreign mercenaries were a standard feature of the Roman army, often providing the bulk of its manpower. They are dressed in the standard equipment of a mobile patrol, wearing helmets and carrying shields, short swords and light gear. Their task, to keep the roads safe, checking the papers of any travelers and inspecting goods being transported along the route. For their part, most travelers will be happy to oblige, knowing that the Roman state has a vested interest in keeping its roads safe. Especially for merchants and traders who rely on the free movement of goods and people to make their money. As they walk, one of the soldiers raises his hand, catching the attention of those around him. In the distance, he thinks he sees someone coming down the road, and so he calls out to alert his comrades. As the travelers approach, the soldiers form up in a semicircle, presenting a show of force. The travelers, a family and some servants riding on horseback, slow to a stop before the Roman patrol. A man dismounts, steps forward and shows his papers. This basic checkpoint is one of the many along the road, serving as a reminder to the provinces that Rome's power and authority extends even to the farthest reaches of its domain. Nearby, on a low hill overlooking the road, stands a tall watchtower, manned by a Roman sentry scanning the horizon with keen eyes. His job, to spot any sign of trouble along the road or in the countryside, such as bandits, rebels, or enemy troops. The tower is only one of many such structures that dot the landscape along the frontier, serving as early warning points and observation posts. Back at the checkpoint, the merchant family is waved through after inspection reveals nothing amiss. As they ride on, the soldiers return to their post and resume their patrol, making sure all is well along the road. But this is only one of many such patrols that ensure the safety and security of the Empire South Fast Road network. In another part of the empire, perhaps along the busy road leading from Londinium to Camulodunum in Britain, a different kind of patrol is underway. Here, the road is patrolled by urban cohorts and vigiles, or firefighters, who double as law enforcement officers. These men are slightly less well-armed and armored than soldiers, though they do carry clubs and other weapons to defend themselves if needed. They, too, are looking for troublemakers along the road, such as rowdy citizens or potential threats to the peace and order of the empire. When they come across a group of rowdy merchants causing a disturbance near a roadside tavern, they step in to break things up. The inebriated men are sent on their way with a warning, and the vindicators move on to continue their patrol. Meanwhile, back in the heart of Italy, the sun is beginning its slow descent toward the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Along the road, a lone traveler with a pack mule walks cautiously. He has been walking for hours and is beginning to feel the weight of his pack. Suddenly, from the trees on the side of the road, a group of bandits drop down and block his path. One of them lunges forward, sword drawn, and the traveler cries out in surprise. But just then, the sound of approaching footsteps can be heard and the bandits freeze. A Roman patrol rides up, and the bandits, realizing they are outnumbered, drop their weapons and flee. The traveler, grateful for the rescue, offers the soldiers a few coins and they accept them graciously. It's not uncommon for weary travelers to seek the protection of a Roman patrol, especially when traveling alone. And the soldiers are usually happy to help, seeing it as part of their duty to protect the people. At a roadside mantio, or rest station, a small band of guards keeps watch over the comings and goings of travelers. Some are seeking shelter for the night, while others are just stopping to refresh themselves and their animals. Maps, route markers, and official edicts are posted on the walls inside, helping travelers plan their journeys and reminding them of their obligations to the state. Outside, a Roman standard flutters in the breeze, a silent testament to the power and authority of Rome. As night falls, the guards light torches and prepare to move out again. And as they do, more travelers arrive, seeking the safety of the garrison for the night. Finally, as the moon climbs higher in the sky, a wide overhead shot reveals the full extent of the road. Stretching into the distance, the road winds through the valley, lit by the torches of patrolling soldiers moving steadily in both directions. Even in the dead of night, the road is never truly empty. There is always a patrol somewhere close by, ready to protect the way. And so it was throughout the length and breadth of the Roman world. Wherever Roman roads led, peace followed. But that peace was always guarded.